When life slams you with an unexpected setback, it's easy to fall into the trap of frustration, resistance, and anger. It feels like you're stuck, like you're up against a wall with no way out. But what if you stopped fighting the very thing that's causing you pain? What if the key to peace, growth, and transformation was not in avoiding or battling life's challenges, but in accepting them? Every difficulty is a doorway to a deeper understanding of who you truly are. Are you ready to stop resisting and start embracing the present moment? No matter how messy or uncomfortable it feels, because the truth is, only in the acceptance of what is can you discover the freedom and calm you've been searching for. In his book, The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle writes, "Accept, then act. Whatever you do, do it with inner stillness." This simple yet profound teaching offers a glimpse into the heart of why accepting difficulties can make life easier. Instead of expending energy fighting against what is happening in the present moment, Tolle encourages us to accept things as they are, and from that place of acceptance, we can then take action that aligns with our true self. If you're serious about your personal health, whether you want to stop suffering, get clear guidance on how to stop overthinking, or to be more present in life, now's the perfect time to subscribe to our channel. Like this video if you're ready to grow further as a person. Now, let's continue. Life can be difficult at times, but when you recognize problems for what they really are, challenges, you will find that they are less overwhelming. The most challenging part is usually when we mentally resist what's happening and think things shouldn't be going this way. The present now is where all events take place. It will seem less scary after you connect with the present moment through surrender. Whatever you think the world is concealing from you, you are withholding from the world. Despite the chaos around you, you must remain faithful to who you are. An hidden yet indisputable source of tranquility is always there. This core will be here regardless of the outcome. Foundation of genuine happiness, a condition of mind that is unaffected by circumstances outside one's control, is what we term silence. Various types of problems, from small annoyances to major disasters, are bound to pop up at some point in your life. When things don't go according to plan, even minor disappointments teach you to maintain your composure. Learning to keep your cool when other people don't behave the way you expect them to is a life skill. This acceptance makes it considerably simpler to deal with life's difficulties by letting go of the impulse to insist that things be handled differently. One example is Eckhart Tolle's observation that the primary cause of unhappiness is never the situation, but your thoughts about it. This line of thinking highlights how our interpretation and reaction to adversity determine our relationship with it. We might expect tension and opposition if we view every situation as an enemy. Nevertheless, difficulties diminish in impact the moment we accept their transience. There is a chance to choose peace in every moment. Just let life develop as it will, without trying to force it to fit our expectations, instead of dwelling on how we can control or manipulate it. Tolle argues in her writings that being fully present in the here and now allows us to release the negative thinking patterns that weigh us down, especially when we're facing challenges. You may face obstacles with more optimism if you realize they are all a part of life's natural flow. In A New Earth, Tolle posits that when you say yes to life, when you accept this moment as it is, you are aligned with the eternal. By bringing our attention to the here and now and releasing judgment, we can cease resisting reality and instead embrace it as it flows through us. This is the place where real power resides. To accept anything does not imply to give up or accept your issues as they are. It implies accepting the problem as it is and finding a way to deal with it rather than fighting it. Actually, we relieve ourselves of needless stress when we acknowledge that there are some things over which we have no control. Rather than dwelling on the issue, we might shift our attention to finding a solution or even just being content in the here and now. Life is a journey, not an obstacle, as Tolle so wisely points out in The Power of Now. The way we perceive challenges changes the way we feel about them. Rather than seeing them as insurmountable barriers, we might see them as insurmountable barriers. We might see them as chances to fully immerse ourselves in the here and now. When we learn to accept ourselves as we are, we get insight into our feelings. Refusing or reacting violently when faced with adversity is a common reaction. Still, it's possible to gain insight by just naming these feelings without passing judgment. When you confront negative emotions directly, without attempting to ignore or bury them, you start to see them for what they really are. Fleeting energy, not permanent problems. Emotional development depends on this. You don't become good by striving to be good. Rather, you become good by discovering the goodness that resides inside you, as Tolle says in A New Earth. Instead of becoming your reactions to life, you learn to watch them. Mindfulness, which Tolle advocates for as a means to coexist peacefully with the environment, comes into play here. Being mindful enables us to disengage from the never-ending loop of thoughts and anxieties, empowering us to behave consciously instead of mechanically. It's not about running away from problems, but rather about accepting them as they are and moving on. Giving up to the here and now is the essence of acceptance. Rather than being a sign of weakness, this surrender is a powerful act of giving up opposition. You can surrender to life's natural flow once you cease resisting it. Suffering rather than fighting the currents of life is the simple yet deep lesson that Tolle describes in her writing. You can learn to be at peace with yourself and the world around you by increasing your practice of acceptance. This serenity is not conditional on anything outside of yourself. Rather, it is the conviction that, despite appearances to the contrary, you are precisely where you should be. As time passes, this tranquility becomes second nature and easier to attain. Problems, instead of being a cause for aggravation, start to be seen as chances to gain more insight about yourself. Patience is another quality you may cultivate by learning to tolerate life's challenges. Many of us would prefer it if things happened immediately, but life doesn't work that way. Patience, however, is a key component of spiritual development. According to Tolle, the more you dwell on the past and the future, the more you lose sight of the present instant, the one and only time that exists, he says in The Power of Now. Practicing patience teaches you to live in the now and have faith that everything happens for a reason. When you can accept what is, you align with the present moment, which is where life really is. Everything becomes more apparent as you give in to the current moment. In the end, accepting life is all about embracing it for what it is. Being present and grounded in your relationship to life's obstacles is more important than making peace with everything. Tolle's writings encourage us to embrace the here and now as the only time that matters, and in doing so, we discover the liberation we've been looking for. Despite the chaos around you, you must remain faithful to who you are. An hidden yet indisputable source of tranquility is always there. This core will be here, regardless of the outcome. The foundation of genuine happiness, a condition of mind that is unaffected by circumstances outside one's control, is what we term silence. Giving in to life's inevitable currents is a key component of acceptance. Being fully present in the here and now is more than just resigning oneself to whatever the future holds. Being more accepting of yourself and the world around you can lead to a paradigm shift that improves your quality of life. Learning to keep your cool when other people don't behave the way you expect them to is a life skill. This acceptance makes it considerably simpler to deal with life's difficulties by letting go of the impulse to insist that things be handled differently. Many diseases have this as their origin, or at least a poor mental health. Someone is more likely to get sick due to this. This is because less physical resistance is a result of a broken mentality. The influence of mental processes on bodily manifestations is undeniable. There is growing support, even among conventional doctors, for the idea that one's mental and emotional well-being may affect their physical health. If your mental and emotional well-being are significantly compromised, your body's defenses will be less effective, making you more susceptible to sickness. Because many other things can trigger illness, no one can make the bold assertion, "I'm never going to get sick." And so it goes. The human body is like an old automobile. It's a physical vehicle with a limited lifespan. And as one gets closer to the end of their life, they begin to encounter a lot of problems. As your vehicle becomes older, more and more components will wear down and require replacement. Finally, it will just cease functioning. When you accept yourself just as you are, mind and body, you can alleviate stress and maybe even avoid getting sick in the first place. Being self-aware allows you to avoid letting negative emotions build up to the point where they cause physical symptoms. Your emotional and physical well-being will flourish if you can learn to be at peace with yourself and embrace the inevitable ups and downs of life. If you can see the challenges you face as chances for personal development and inspiration, you will be more equipped to overcome them. Many spiritual masters throughout history have pondered this very question. Feelings of pain are common when times get rough, and they can last for a long time. Every person has a spiritual leader, I say at times. To a large extent, people learn spiritual lessons from their experiences of pain. The only way to experience an awakening is through suffering, and here is why. The Power of Now quotes Eckhart Tolle saying, "The pain that you create now is always some form of non-acceptance, some form of unconscious resistance to what is. We fight and suffer when we refuse to embrace the reality of our misery, but when we finally do, we start to heal." Very few people have reached a level of self-awareness where they can perceive adversity as a path to enlightenment. It is possible to initiate this change with the help of a written text, a spiritual guide who is still alive, or even oral traditions. Out of nowhere, they exclaim, "Oh my goodness, evolution is accelerating." This acceleration is happening to you at this very now. Consciousness would progress at a glacial pace in its absence. People continually making the same mistakes, and this fact becomes clear when you look at how quickly society is evolving. Is it accurate to say that many individuals, even politicians, do not possess any historical texts? If you don't learn from your mistakes, you'll end up making the same ones again and over. The statement, "The past has no power over the present moment" by Tolle in A New Earth is a reflection on this idea. This means that you shouldn't ignore a job just because it seems small. Constructing a web of unproductive thoughts around it will make it much more difficult. Decisions about what to do next are usually as easy as taking stock of the current circumstance, the people involved, or the nature of the work at hand. We know it's doable. What next? Realize deeply that the present moment is all you have. Tolle emphasizes the significance of living in the here and now. Center your life on the present moment. Thoroughly analyzing the urgent requirements is the following stage. Here and now is a living, breathing source of motivation. Pay close attention to your surroundings before diving into any endeavor. Pay close attention to what you're doing right now rather than daydreaming. Doing so enters you into a condition of presence from which serenity and insight flow. When you find a quiet place like this, your mind may relax and tap into the wisdom that lies dormant within. Worrying about the future is unnecessary if you focus on the here and now. Your vision will improve if you train yourself to be alert and in the here and now. The duration of these opportunities can range from a few seconds to a couple of minutes at most. Still, it usually only takes that little bit of focus to change your perspective. After that, possible reasons for action become crystal evident. And you can even tell when it's best to hold off. Knowing when to move and when to sit tight is second nature to you. It is possible to have a deeper connection to the source of genuine joy, even in the midst of hardship. In The Power of Now, Tolle says, "You are the universe expressing itself as a human for a little while." Realizing this might help you find peace within yourself, no matter how bad things get. When you surrender to the here and now, you'll discover that tapping into this well of satisfaction becomes much easier. Consistently rejecting and fighting against what is beyond the ego keeps it going. The ego is inherently at odds with reality. The current situation is met with resistance, yet upon closer inspection, it becomes apparent that this very resistance is the source of the misery. Ego is nothing more than a notion, according to Tolle. No, it's not you. That which is aware of the thought is you. True liberation can be ours if we release the ego and make room for the present moment. Tolle says, in a new earth, when you accept the situation becomes irrelevant. You realize that you don't need the situation to be different in order to feel at peace. This means that you can stop trying to change things and start living in the now, because once you accept what is, you can stop struggling to control it and start living in the present. Present moment is where life unfolds. The past and the future are only concepts in your mind. The present moment is the only real thing, the only thing that exists. According to Tolle, every event in the history of the cosmos has built upon every event in the history of the cosmos has built upon every other event. All events have an impact on the bigger picture because everything is interconnected. The events that have led to this precise moment are not random. They are part of the unfolding of a grand plan. So, here we are. Even if you feel powerless, there may be things you can do. But to do something, you have to accept where you are and what you can do. As Eckhart Tolle says, whatever you think the world is withholding from you, you are withholding from the world, is withholding from the world. The key to taking action is acceptance. When you are in the here and now, you can respond wisely and clearly. After you've accepted the situation, you may feel a relief as you give into it. Being at one with life's flow brings contentment, and when you stop resisting, you can start to feel the peace that comes from surrendering. As Eckhart Tolle says, surrender is the simple but profound wisdom of yielding to rather than opposing the flow of life. The key to finding fulfillment is not to change the outside world, but to connect with the source of life. That is why accepting what is so important. The fulfillment you seek is within, not outside of you. Being present, aware, and surrendering to what is are the keys to accessing that fulfillment. To successfully navigate life's obstacles, one must not try to erase or wish them away, but rather perceive them for what they truly are. Chances for development, connection, and enlightenment. What once appeared to depend on the approval of others is now seen as nothing more than the external expression of an internal elevated consciousness. As Tolle puts it, success is not what you achieve. It is what you achieve. By letting go of our ego's need for approval and bringing our attention to the here and now, we can learn to be at peace with ourselves and the world around us. By making peace with the present moment, we can connect with our source of true happiness, the stillness in our core. By letting go of the ego's pursuit of more, we can open ourselves up to the abundance that is always available to us. To sum up, facing adversity head-on isn't just about enduring it, it's about capitalizing on it for personal development. When we can accept things as they are, we can let go of ego-driven resistance and enter a state of inner peace. As Eckhart Tolle so astutely puts it, the acceptance of what is cannot be learned from a book. It is experienced. Embrace the present moment as your teacher. Let's keep growing together on this path of self-discovery. Subscribe to our channel for daily inspiration and grow as a person. Comment the word now and like the video to show your support. Also, consider sharing this video with someone who could use some encouragement to slow down and enjoy life more fully.